actually talked about it in my sermon last week, so people are aware.
And you have two kids, right?
One kid.
Oh, one kid. How old is the kid?
She's 7 months.
Oh, okay, that's right. I was thinking of another rabbi I know that has school-age kids. That's not me. 7 months. Boy, you're in the thick of it.
I am.
What does your wife do?
She's a lawyer.
So is she able to work from home?
She just finished a clerkship and she's going to start a job in like 2 weeks. So she has 3
Great.
months off, which is really great.
Right. Oh, yeah. You know the words, sing it with me. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I am Rabbi George Altshuler. I am joined by Cantor Fran Burgess. It's wonderful to have you back here after 10 years. Wonderful to hear your beautiful voice and guitar. I encourage you to turn to those around you and to wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Wonderful. So, as I like to say, we in this tradition have a prayer for everything in this book. So I want to acknowledge as we begin that we come to Shabbat services tonight from many different places, from many different experiences of the week. But welcome, it's wonderful to have you all here. I'd like to invite up Mike Feldman now, our board member, to offer some words of greeting.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
My name is Mike Feldman on behalf of the Board of Trustees and the Hills of Eternity Board, because I got the daily double. Welcome to Shabbat services tonight. It's a nice evening. We're going to have a nice warm weekend, so it's a nice way to start it off. So thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
So those of you who were here last Shabbat know that I shared some reflections on astronomy because it was the 10-year anniversary, or the 1-year anniversary of the James Webb Space Telescope being launched. And I talked about the beautiful images that we have. And I thought, how do I follow that up with something that's at least somewhat as mind-blowing? How do I come up with a gimmick that's at least somewhat as mind-blowing as these incredible images of space? And the only thing I could come up with, which won't surprise most of you who know me, was Abraham Joshua Heschel. So tonight I want to share a few quotes from Abraham Joshua Heschel. And he offers this idea of Shabbat as a palace in time. And he writes, "The meaning of the Sabbath is to celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week, we live under the tyranny of things of space. On Shabbat, we try to become attuned to the holiness in time. It is a day on which we are called upon to share in what is eternal in time, to turn from the results of creation to the mystery of creation, from the world of creation to the creation of the world." So I am now going to be the one to light the candles. Those of you who were with us last week know that my dog was not in good health, and I'm sorry to say that I actually had to say goodbye to him this morning. So in his honor, I would like to light the candles this evening.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We turn now to the joy of Shabbat. Mizmor Shir is on page 344. Page 13.
The English version is on 344, that's
there
why
we go.
we have the 2 pages there. Unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth, a new song unto God. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Shiru l'Adonai. Shiru, shiru l'Adonai. I will sing unto God a new song.
We'll continue now with Lachado D, in which we welcome in the spirit of Shabbat. Lachado D can be found on page 20. We'll sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, and on the 9th verse, we'll rise and face the door to welcome in the spirit of Shabbat. Page 20.
Ya la 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 Lachado D. Ya la 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 Likrat Kala. Ya la 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 Pnei Shabbat. Pnei Shabbat Nikabel. La 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 Lachado D. Ya la 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 Likrat Kala. La 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 Pnei Shabbat. Pnei Shabbat Nikabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. Ishmi'anu el hamyuchad. לשמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתהילה. יאללה, יאללה, לחדרי, יאללה, לקראת כלה, יאללה, פני שבת, פני שבת, נקבלה, לקראת שבת, לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תקילה. יאללה, יאללה, לחדרי, יאללה, לקראת כלה, יאללה, פני שבת, פני שבת, נקבלה. התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. יאללה, לחדרי, יאללה, לקראת כלה, יאללה, פני שבת, פני שבת, נקבלה. בואי ושלום, עטרת בלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי כלה, בואי כלה, שבת, פני שבת, נקבלה.
Some more words from Heschel as we approach the Baruch Hu, our call to prayer. To pray is to take notice of the wonder, to regain the sense of mystery that animates all beings, the divine margin in all attainments. Prayer is our humble answer to the inconceivable surprise of living. The Baruch Hu is on page 28.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 la. Ya 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 la 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 la. Barechu et Adonai hamevorim la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la.
As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery.
ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated, page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם זאת בביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמן.
One last reflection from Abraham Joshua Heschel as we approach Micha Mocha. Judaism is a religion of time aiming at the sanctification of time. Unlike the space-minded person to whom time is unvaried, iterative, homogeneous, to whom all hours are alike, quality-less, empty shells, the Bible senses the diversified character of time. There are no 2 hours alike. Every hour is unique, and the only one given at the moment, exclusively and endlessly precious. Page 40.
מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקעים לפני משה. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקעים לפני משה. Yaakov, Uge'alo miad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'ha'amideinu shomreinu l'chayim. Ufros aleinu sukat shelomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shelomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
We continue with Vishamru on page 44.
V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini uvein bnei Yisrael oti leolam, oti leolam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheishet yamim asa Adonai, asa Adonai, et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam.
We have arrived at the point in our service where we call to mind those in need of shlemut, in need of the wholeness, of healing, whether that be of mind, body, or spirit. The Misher Berach is on page 253.
Misher Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misher Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We pray this evening for the healing of Jim Blattner, Dr. Marion Bloomberg, Daniel Burton, Bob Fonarow, Stephen Gerbsman, Marcia Gruskin, William Kurian, Michelle Newberg, Philip Rosenberg, Agnes Rothblatt, Margaret Schneidman, Kristen Zietzer, and those whom we mention now.
My sister, Amy Bugala.
We hold those names and those people in our hearts as we continue with Tefillah, with the Amidah, which can be found on page 46.
That my mouth may declare your praise. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la la la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu ve'imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekoneh Hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, צומק נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר הסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לפשעי עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי, יהיו לרצון אמרי פי, והגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני צורי וגואלי. Oh, may the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart be acceptable before you, O God, my rock and my
Tomorrow, tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle, life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Well, that, my friends, is quite a depressing way to start a sermon. I share with you this speech from Shakespeare's Macbeth because when I was in high school, I learned about this as an example of what my teacher called catharsis. Catharsis is an ancient Greek concept that originated with Aristotle. In the context of theater, it was explained to me as the experience of relief that the audience may feel after they go to a play and they watch characters suffer. In the case of the Shakespeare play, you watch the character Macbeth's life sputter and eventually fall apart, which leads to the depressing speech I began with. This experience of watching Macbeth's difficulties leads to a purgation of emotion that ultimately enables the audience to feel better. It's interesting. The speech really is quite hopeless. A tale told by an idiot full of sound and fury signifying nothing. But the theory of catharsis puts forth the idea that if we go through a moment of real darkness, we can eventually feel better. Our Jewish tradition has something similar to this process of catharsis. Next Wednesday night, Tisha B'Av begins. This holiday is the saddest day of the Jewish year. We commemorate the destruction of the two temples in Jerusalem. We read the book of Lamentations, Echa, the book that recounts the trauma and tragedy of the destruction of the temples. It is traditional to fast on Tisha B'Av. In our times, it's a time to consider the brokenness we see all around us today, to collectively lament the state of the world. There are important differences between the catharsis of ancient Greek theater and the moment of lament that is built into Jewish time. Catharsis seems to me, at least, to be a mostly emotional experience, whereas Jewish lament is about spiritual brokenness. Catharsis is also more about individual suffering, while the Jewish lament of this time of year is about the brokenness we experience as a collective. Still, the processes have in common that in order to arrive at a better place, one really has to go through the darkness. In order to enter this awareness of brokenness on Tisha B'Av, our sages also designated special material for this Shabbat, the Shabbat before Tisha B'Av. This Shabbat is called Shabbat Chazon, or the Shabbat of Vision. Shabbat Chazon gets its name from the Haftarah that is traditionally read on Shabbat mornings. The reading is from the book of Isaiah. This excerpt offers what can be described as an overview of the book of Isaiah, and in it we read about the bleak condition of Israel. The prophet describes a wasteland that has descended into immoral behavior. Isaiah says, "Your land is a waste, your cities burnt down. Before your eyes, the yield of your soil is consumed by strangers." Interestingly, Isaiah is clear about the ways in which the Israelites have gone astray. The problem for Isaiah isn't that the Israelites aren't offering the right type of sacrifices to God. Instead, the problem is that Isaiah says the Israelites are not creating a just society. Isaiah says, "Cease to do evil, learn to do good, devote yourselves to justice, aid the wrong, uphold the rights of the orphan, defend the cause of the widow." It's easy to connect Isaiah's complaint about his world to the world around us today. We see unhoused people on the streets of our city every day. Global temperatures are rising. An unjust war rages in Ukraine. The list could go on. By suggesting that we read Isaiah during this season of sadness and introspection, our tradition is encouraging us to take stock of the brokenness of the world. Interestingly, though, after we lament, the chapter of Isaiah offers a vision of redemption. Isaiah quotes God as saying that God will vanquish Israelites' enemies, that God will restore justice in Israel, that Zion will be saved in judgment. As with catharsis, once we acknowledge the darkness of the world, we can find relief and even hope. There's another important difference I see between the Greek idea of catharsis and the Jewish idea of lament. The point of our lament isn't only to feel better. Our lament inspires us to act, to try to make the world a better place. So often we talk in the Reform movement about repairing the world. In the words of Rabbi Rachel Adler, it is an irony. We want to repair the world, and yet we are reluctant to acknowledge that everything is broken, including ourselves. This time of year teaches us that part of repairing the world is acknowledging its brokenness. It's true, acknowledging the word's brokenness is not easy, and it is certainly not enjoyable. But I think it's a healthy part of fighting for change. And so I encourage us all this Shabbat, or this week, to take some time for quiet reflection on the brokenness of the world. Journal, take a walk, talk it over with loved ones, or pray. This moment in Jewish time is about accepting how far we are from the way the world ought to be. May we take time to reflect on the brokenness of the world so that we can then devote ourselves to repairing it. Shabbat Shalom.
I will build this world from love. And if we build this world from love, then God will build this world from love. Olam chesed
When we gather together, we have the opportunity to share the joyous moments in our lives together. So if you are celebrating a simcha, a joyous event, I encourage you to raise your hand and to share it with the community. I will come around with the mic, and it's important to share into the mic so that the people watching on YouTube can share with us.
I got the job that I wanted. I mean, I got all the jobs that I applied for, but I got the one that I wanted.
Awesome. Congratulations, Caleb.
I completed my probability and statistics class at City College.
Congratulations. Monique.
I had a birthday on Monday.
Oh, congratulations. Happy birthday. Other simchas. Yes.
We recently got a puppy whose name is Afikoman during Passover. And he just received his final round of vaccines, so we've been taking him on walks.
Afikoman is an incredible name for a dog. Yasher koach. That's awesome. Okay. Any other simchas? Well, with yeah, Alice.
I had an atheist Jewish friend, and they started going to synagogue again.
Oh, someone started going to synagogue again. Lovely. Well, with Afikoman in our hearts and all the other joyous events in our hearts, I invite us to rise and to join with the cantor in Shechechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazaman hazeh.
We turn now to Aleinu, which is on page 282, in which we think about how all of the obligation and all of our desires to repair the world are upon us. 282.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon ha'kol, l'teit gedula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo samach elkeinu kahem, v'goralenu kechol ha'amonam. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. If you are here during Shiva, the first 7 days of mourning a loved one, I invite you to rise and to share the name of your loved one now. We commemorate the following people for Shloshim, the first 30 days of death. After death, please rise as your loved one's name is read out loud. Nancy Barg, Sarah Ethel Epstein, Stephen Fierberg, Linda Silverman. If you are here during Shloshim, the first 30 days of death, I invite you to rise and to say the name of your loved one. If you are here during Shana, the first year of mourning, I invite you to rise and to say the name of your loved one.
Matthew Mandich.
We commemorate the following yahrzeits. Please rise as your loved one's name is read out loud. Jack Auerbach, Nancy Bluestein, Clara Cooperstein, Pauline Wiseman Davis, Dora Erdberg, Dr. Leo Falk, Anna Brett Hunter Garber, Eva Gold, Henry Jaffet, Sarah Kagan, Cynthia Kronish, Beverly Little, Fanya Medvedovskaya, Esther Israel Pincus, Alice B. Pumpkin, Irene Sladnick, Lois H. Tribble, Keva Wine. If you are here commemorating a yahrzeit of someone whose name has not been read out loud, I invite you to rise and to share that name now. We rise together in solidarity with our mourners. Mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 294. Yid Gadal v'Yid Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach Yerute ve'amlich malchute, B'chayechon uvyomechon uvchay decho Beit Yisrael, Ba'gala uvizman kariv ve'imru Amen. Yehe Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'almei almaya, Yid barach ve'ishtabach ve'itpa'ar ve'tromam ve'itnaseh, Vitadar, vitale, vitalal, shmei de kudsha, brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Vel kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to the whole world, to which we say, Amen.
Amen. Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom.
A few things to announce as we conclude our services. Please stick around for the oneg, our festive hors d'oeuvres, after Shabbat. And if you are in the demographic of your 20s and 30s, we have a yap dinner downstairs. Please join us. Tomorrow morning at 9:15 a.m. there will be Torah study, both on Zoom and in person. And I invite you to check out our handy flyer for the rest of the exciting events coming up. And Fran, it was a joy to lead with you. Thank you so much for your music. It was really beautiful. Kiddush can be found on page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddeshanu v'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon inchilanu zikaron ma'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehila lemikra hikodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim ki vanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת. Amen. L'chaim.
So Ruth, I got a sneak peek of the challah this week, but I would love it if you would introduce it.
Well, given that Tisha B'Av is a fast day, I thought that was not an appropriate inspiration for challah. But I found out that July is blueberry month, and we happen to have some blueberries in the house, and I needed to do something with them. So I made a blueberry compote and stuffed it inside my challah this week. So I bring you a lovely summer blueberry challah.
Wonderful. And there is the expression, my cup runneth over, from the 23rd Psalm.
Yes,
and this
and my
challah,
blueberries
this challah beautifully runneth over with blueberries. So Chag Sameach, happy blueberry month.
Will you lift it up? Oh, yes. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem mi'haaretz v'te'avo.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Beautiful. It's fine. Grain-free. Oh.
I'm vegan, but
Really? Well, I have diabetes, so I have to